Now remember guys, you can work the abs in a contracted position by flexing the abs, by crunching down, and also flexing the hips, raising the legs higher, right? That's how you're really gonna target those lower abs, which are the hardest to hit.
Line them up, knock them down, yeah. They said it was a grind. They said it takes time, yeah, I know. I guess they weren't lying. Every time I try to climb, they cut the rope. I fell straight to the bottom, got problems, I don't really wanna talk about them, no. I've been down this road too many times to be afraid. I close my eyes when I walk down it.
What's going on, YouTube? You're back with the Prez, and we're starting this video off in the kitchen today with the pre-workout meal. But this video is gonna be fully about building up our abs. I'm gonna be showing you guys the best exercises you guys could be doing to build a stronger and more defined six-pack. But the reason why we're starting this video off in the kitchen is because, guys, a lot of people are gonna say abs are made in the kitchen, and that's a fact. You have to have low enough levels of body fat in order for your abs to show through. Me personally right now, I'm weighing in about 11% body fat. You guys can see I have a pretty visible six-pack. But when I'm at higher body fat percentages, almost 13, 14%, my abs still pop through. Why? Not because I have low enough body fat levels, but because I built up big enough and thick enough abdominal muscles for them to pop through at higher levels of body fat. And that's the goal, guys. Abs are like any other muscle in the body. You want to make them bigger and more defined, you have to build them. In order for them to show, you have to have low levels of body fat. So we're starting this video off with the pre-workout meal, and I'm showing you guys, I'm eating pancakes today, pre-workout meal. If you guys seen a video from a few years ago about my homemade protein pancakes, we whipped up a big batch this morning. Very simple, guys. Three ingredient pancakes: banana, egg whites, and oats. That's all you need. Then we're going to top these off. I put 15 grams of walnuts, some strawberries, and half a serving of real maple syrup, guys. You're not going to see me using that fake syrup, no sugar BS, right? You don't know what that's going to do to your body in the long term. And again, guys, if you're tracking your calories, track the syrup, everything will fit, right? So typically I'm eating around 26 to 2,800 calories these days, and this is going to be an ab workout for me today. So I'm not going to be really busting my ass off in the park or anything. This is going to be more focused on building up the abs, so I'm not going to be really exhausting myself. But just to show you guys, you can literally eat anything you want. And again, these are my homemade protein pancakes, and I'm going to show you guys total macros for this. This is 1/3 of the total serving. With everything on, this meal right here is 350 calories, 45 grams of carbs, 11 grams of fat, just about 15 grams of protein with the toppings on and everything. So this is going to be a pre-workout meal. I'm going to head to the park in probably an hour, show you guys the top exercises that you guys should be doing to build up a stronger and more defined six-pack. Let's go. What's going on, YouTube? Just got to the park. So it's been about 90 minutes since you see me eat that pre-workout meal, and I told you this video is going to be solely about the top exercise that you guys could be utilizing to build stronger and a more defined midsection, meaning a six-pack. Now remember, guys, don't get it twisted. You're only going to really start seeing your abs pop out at the lower body fat levels, right? So I told you, you could build them up just like any other muscle. When people are at higher body fat percentages, you can still see their arm muscles, right? Same thing, when you guys see me around 13, 14%, my abs still tend to pop through. That's because I built them up into a bigger size muscle, right? Anybody and everybody was born with abs, right? The leaner you get, if you never train your abs ever, you don't do any abdominal work, if you're lean enough, they'll pop out, right? So now, these are the top exercises that you guys could be doing to build your abs up, and we're gonna be focusing on, remember, the top, midsection, and the lower abdominals, which are always the hardest for people to grow. Remember, guys, most people have no problem getting the top abs to pop out. Everyday movements such as just bending down. Remember, flexion of the abs is really going to target that upper abdominal, right? But you're really not going to get any lower abdominal work when you're just bending down, right? Crunches, things like that are going to really focus on the mid to upper abs. You guys want to build the lower abs, you got to follow the routine that I'm showing you. But the first exercise you guys need to be doing, and everybody should be doing regardless if you want a six-pack or not, is a plank. It's going to keep your core and your full body under tension. Now listen, guys, breathing through this movement is key also. I've demonstrated this before. When holding a plank, which is going to be an isometric position, your abs are going to be fully contracted the whole time. Gravity is going to be pushing down on your back, and you're going to be in a flexed position, meaning a lot of engagement of the upper abs, but as well as the entire core. Remember, the core makes up the abs, the obliques, and the lower back. So plank should be in everybody's routine, and what you guys want to do is focus on holding longer and longer. That's going to build up that time under tension in the plank position, keeping the abs flexed throughout the whole time that you could work to, right? So I recommend everybody should start with 20-30 seconds and aim for 2+ minutes of plank holds. And again, guys, there are easier variations and harder variations of plank, but we're going to start with a standard plank today, what everybody should be doing. I don't want to see your butt up. I don't want to see your butt down. Everything squeeze. Squeeze the glutes, suck the stomach in. And you want to breathe, guys. Like I said, breathing is key. You want to breathe in through the nose, taking in air. Breathe into your lower abdominals. Hold the breath. When you exhale, that's when you contract the abs. Again, the goal should be to aim for a 2-minute hold. And once a standard plank gets easy, you guys can work on more advanced variations, which are going to be side planks, right? Targeting not only the whole abdominal and the core, but focusing more on one side as opposed to the other, right? So, a side plank demonstration. We're going to be working on our left side muscles more, the obliques, the serratus, all this. Excellent for serratus work, lower oblique work. You guys can start extending, making the reps a little harder. Breathing should always be the same. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And again, guys, you got to always work both sides. So the first exercise that everybody should be practicing is a plank and plank variations as you get better and better at them. Like I said, it's going to be an isometric movement, but it's going to place a lot of time under tension on the abs in a flexed position. So remember, we can flex the abs isometrically, we can contract them by raising the pelvis, we can contract them by flexing the abs down, by meaning crunching down, and we could also train them eccentrically, which we're going to get to in one of the next exercises. So stay tuned, we got more up, let's get it. Alright guys, so the second exercise you guys need to be doing for stronger and more defined six-pack is going to be a hanging leg raise variation, or any leg raise variation for that matter. Remember guys, I'll always show you a regression if you can't do the more advanced variation. So remember, like exercise 1, which was the plank, a plank again is an isometric hold, almost forcing you to keep the abs contracted throughout the whole time. Remember, building that time with the tension in that isometric hold is going to not only benefit the anterior part of the abs. Remember, the core is the front, the obliques, and the posterior part of the lower body, right? So the core makes up the abs, the obliques, and the low back. Holding that plank in the isometric position is going to really strengthen the whole anterior part of the abdominals, right? You're going to be holding in almost a contracted position the whole time. Now remember guys, you can work the abs in a contracted position by flexing the abs, by crunching down, and also flexing the hips, raising the legs higher, right? That's how you're really going to target those lower abs, which are the hardest to hit. So the second exercise, like I said, is going to be a knee raise variation, but we're going to be doing them hanging. So hanging leg raises, again, if you can't do it straight legs, you guys can regress to a knee raise, and then I'll show you an even easier regression if you can't do it hanging. So remember, the goal here is not to raise the knees. You guys want to think about rotating the pelvis higher, right? You don't want the pelvis to be at 90, you want to get the pelvis up higher. You're not doing it by bringing the knees up. Again, you're thinking about lifting the pelvis higher. That's how you're going to contract the lower abdominal muscle. So the second exercise is a hanging leg raise. Let's go. See guys, watch my hips. My hips get high, right? If I was just lifting my legs, this is what it would look like. That's just lifting the legs, right? You're not getting any lower ab engagement. That's where you're working the hip flexors. You want to train the lower abdominals, you got to rotate that pelvis up. Start out for 10 reps, work your way up to 3 sets of 10. So it's the second exercise you guys need to be doing. And remember guys, if you can't do it fully extended with your legs out, again, knee tucks. Bring your knees up, and then rotate up. 1, 2. Again, we're not just using the hip flexors, we're not just doing this, right? That's just training the hip flexors. You want to get the abdominal engagement. gotta raise the pelvis. And if you can't do it hanging, like always guys, taking it back to the basics. Get on a dip bar. And again, you guys could do straight leg raises. And if that's too hard, again, regress to knees bent in the tuck variation and work at that level. 3 sets of 10 reps, then you can build up to weighted reps. 3 sets of 15, work at your level. That's the second exercise for a stronger and more defined six-pack. Let's go. All right, guys, so the third exercise in the rotation is gonna be a dragon flag or a dragon flag variation. Remember, exercise 1, which was a plank, was an isometric hold when we're in a contracted position. Really only forcing the abs to stay flexed throughout the whole time of the plank movement, right? The second exercise, the leg raise variation, whether you're doing hanging or on a dip bar where you're supported by your arms. Remember, that's gonna be a full range of motion exercise where we're going through a contraction and an eccentric portion of the rep. Full range of motion, bringing the pelvis up, fully extending the hips back down to full lockout, and then coming back up, controlling the movement. So we have one isometric hold where we're flexed. We have one movement where we're going through full range of motion, dynamically, concentrically, and eccentric portion part of the rep. And then the third exercise that you guys got to be practicing, like I said, is going to be a dragon flag variation. Now this is going to be loading the abs up eccentrically, right? Remember, in a plank, we're going to be prone. All the gravity is going to be facing down on our back, forcing you to be in a flexed position. In a dragon flag, it's opposite. We're going to be spread out. Our hips are going to be open the whole time, and our abs are going to be in the stretch position. Remember, eccentric reps build the most muscle. Why? Because they cause the most damage. So we're going to be doing a dragon flag, and I'll show you guys regressions that you guys will be working at as well. Remember, eccentric contraction now for time under tension. So, full dragon flag, guys. Ideally, you want the arms locked out as far as you can, right? The more bent arm you are, the more bicep engagement. So to make it harder, you want to be extremely locked out. Now, guys, like I said, it's an eccentric movement. We're gonna raise and we're gonna come down all without any movement in the hips. So holding in that extended position is forcing gravity come down on the entire ab muscles. They're not contracted because they're not flexed. They're completely hold in an isometric, eccentric rep. Something similar like doing a 90-degree push-up hold in the eccentric portion of the rep, right? The muscles are completely stretched. This is gonna target the upper, the mid, and a lot of lower abs. Again, you're stretching out. The longer the lever, the more lower ab engagement you're gonna get. Now again, I said I'll show you guys regressions. If a full dragon flag is too hard, you guys can start, like always, in a knee tuck, right? So, you're gonna come up like this. And now open the hips. Come down. Look, you're shortening the amount of the lever. I told you, the longer the lever, the more ab engagement. Shorten the lever by bending at the knees. Come up. Over time, you can start extending one leg. So guys, those are the top 3 ab exercises you guys got to start practicing and incorporating into your routine. You guys want to build stronger and more defined abdominal muscles. 3 exercises. Remember guys, abs can be trained a little more often than a regular muscle group, right? You could train abs at the end of every training session. You could train them on your off days. Again, you're not going to be damaging them to the point like you would be hammering your chest or your legs or something like that, right? Couple sets for each exercise and work your way up. Add time under tension as you get better and better. Hold longer planks, hold longer dragon flag holds, do more repetitions. That's how you're gonna increase the tension. That's how you're gonna constantly, progressively overload while working your abs, right? Remember, it's another muscle group, just like your biceps, your chest, your shoulders. You wanna get them stronger, you gotta progressively overload the movements. So, You don't got to take it too far, guys. Like I said, you can train the abs every day. You don't have to do all these movements every day. Pick one. On one day, work on planks on Monday. Tuesday, work on hanging leg raises. Wednesday, work on your dragon flags. Over time, you're going to get better and better at all of them, and you're going to be able to incorporate more volume. So I hope this video is helpful for you guys, but don't forget, guys, you guys really want to see your abs pop out more, you're going to have lower levels of body fat. That's where diet comes into play. But I told you guys all about that. If you could track your calories, use an app, weigh your foods out, you can pretty much eat anything you want as long as you know the numbers you're supposed to be at. So like always, guys, like the video, it helps the algorithm out. Share the video with your friends and family. Leave a comment. I always get back to you guys. If you have a question, leave it in the comments section. I always get back to you. Subscribe if you haven't already. And like always, guys, peace out. BARNATURALS.
They all love to talk, you know they do that shit the most. Think you on my level, boy, but you ain't even close.